Hello and welcome back to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to my Rivian R1T. Welcome to beautiful Colorado, and welcome to my new car hauler. So I recently purchased this trailer for Out of Spec so we can do some instrumented tow testing and stuff. We don't have to rent trailers or borrow them from people. So this way we can load up as much weight as we need to, especially with more electric trucks coming on the market and things like this. But today I thought it'd be kind of fun to have you guys join me for a little towing drive. It's going to be about a 6-hour drive round trip from here in northern Colorado in Fort Collins all the way down past Denver to Colorado Springs, turn around and come straight back up. And we're going there because I have this classic Range Rover, which we're not going to talk too much about in this video, that has just gone for a major servicing. I just purchased this. I dropped it off. I said, what do we need to do to make this thing perfect? It's a 1991 full-size classic Range Rover, and that's kind of what we did. So I'm going to go pick up Judy on the back of the Rivian. I thought it'd be kind of cool for you guys to join me on the drive as we hook up a pretty big car on the back of this Rivian. So a little bit of a vlog style trip today, I guess. This is an H&H trailer. It's 24 feet long. It's a big boy. The thing I like about it is that it's a dovetail in the back, so we can get pretty low cars on here. The thing I don't like about it is that it's a dovetail in the back, which means we scrape this bottom edge pretty bad. So I'm thinking we might have to get a little roller or some sacrificial layer, because any slightest incline, we are just scraping back here, and I got to take everything at an extreme angle. This is not really the keeper trailer. We actually needed a trailer for some testing last minute when we had the F-150 Lightning and this. And my friend Steve at D&E Trailers gave me this at a pretty good price, a brand new trailer. It's a steel trailer, weighs about 2,500 pounds, not the, keeper aluminum enclosed car hauler, but a great trailer to have around, good tie down points, room for modifications. For example, we could put a little box up here with a winch if we need to pull on cars that don't have power. And there's so many different things we need a car hauler for, just moving cars around. For example, we're going to this Ohm on the Range, great name, electric vehicle event in Denver this weekend by Red Rocks, and we're going to be towing down the Audi e-tron and our smart car on this trailer, towing it with the Rivian R1T, and then we'll have the Plaid driven down by someone else, so we can bring some of our cars down to this event on Showcase. I haven't actually worked out the weight distribution of this to see if it's entirely possible, because there is a tongue weight limitation, so I need to do some math before I fully commit to that layout, but it should be interesting. Here on the back, I have a load distribution hitch, probably not needed for this load. It's going to be about 5,500 pounds, I imagine, with the Range Rover on it, maybe a little bit less, but nice to have it for stability. When we put the truck on it, when we load this thing to the max, always a good idea to have a load distributing hitch. And the thing I like about this one is it doesn't squeak. You don't have these high tension metal bars. It's a little bit more expensive to do it this way with the chains, but I really like this approach. Big truck going by. In terms of the Rivian, it's actually holding up not so well, if I'm totally honest. It's not bad. I've just noticed a few things from when I got it. Now, I was away in Europe for 6 weeks, and like I mentioned, I'm heading back in another week and a half, so I'm just taking care of some things here in the US. But if you look here at my charge port, it's not necessarily lining up properly, and it's a little bit loosey-goosey. So I don't know if someone knocked into it while I was gone. It actually won't even close sometimes without some encouragement. And then, so that needs to get fixed. That's not good. What the heck happened there? I have no idea. Definitely happened after I left. So we're going to blame someone for that. It looks like the whole mechanism is just not doing so hot. What else is going on with it? There's a suspension squeaking noise every time I accelerate and decelerate. Little movements, you hear this squeak, especially in drive-thrus, something minor. Other than that, the truck's really doing pretty well. A few thousand miles more on it. I have it in pet comfort, a new update since I last saw the truck. So we have dog mode, which is great, keeping the interior nice and cool while I shoot this intro. We can take a look here at the truck, and you can see we have 7,400 miles on it, almost 2.16 miles per kilowatt hour so far. And doing pretty well. Again, the Rivian R1T Launch Edition, large pack, 4-motor version. Plenty of videos we've done on this truck. And I think it's time to head out to Colorado Springs If you take a look here, the truck's predicting 83 miles of range. There's a new charging menu I keep forgetting about at 54% state of charge. So that's pretty interesting. This is also interesting. It tells you where the energy goes to when you're charging. So nice updates. This one has the newest software update that helps with thermal performance and things like this. So if I go to vehicle software updates and I see what's new, let's think here. Automatic ride height control, although I still feel the thing moves around too much. And it says we've improved DC fast charging performance and battery preconditioning. In ideal conditions, you may experience a 20% improvement in miles added per minute. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a hot day today, 97 degrees. We're going to be towing an entire Range Rover behind us, DC fast charging this thing. Again, not even leaving full. We're leaving with 54%. So we're going to stop and charge quite often with the trailer. But I say, let's start this thing up, throw it in drive, and head on down to Colorado Springs. In terms of some settings inside the Rivian, I have the trailer brake gain set pretty low. I'm going to be between 2 and 3 out of 10, I believe. Yep, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 and 3 out of 10 while the trailer's unloaded. We just don't really need that much help stopping an unloaded trailer. This is a dual axle with brakes on both, electric brakes on both axle, the way I think, should be towing in the mountains. It's the safest configuration for this type of trailer. I have ride height in the standard height, and then I put the suspension to stiff, at least for now, just to avoid some body movements. In soft, I think the suspension's actually gotten softer than what I remember, and I actually prefer it. I would say this thing almost rides smoother than our e-tron does now. But just pulling out, you really can't even feel or hear the trailer behind you because the cabin's so well insulated. The torque from the electric motors are just insane. And an electric truck, while the range may not be great when towing, we've already done a million tests on that, the towing experience is far superior than a combustion vehicle. And the Rivian's really, perfect for this type of stuff. Short little trips, a few hours here, a few hours there with the trailer on the back. Can do this stuff no problem. And I do want to give a shout out to my friends at the All Electric Family YouTube channel. They are actually coming out to see us this weekend, which will be great. So hopefully we'll do some videos with them. But they have an F-150 Lightning and a Rivian R1T and tow with them. Looks like the Rivian trip planner has already mapped out a pretty good route for us, and it's included a charger. I don't know if it's adapting for trailers, but we'll see how this does. We are just coming into the Denver metro area, I'd say, just passing Broomfield, and I've selected this Electrify America charger near Castle Rock. The reason I've done that is I kind of want to avoid all of the mess of chargers near downtown Denver. They're just so busy, these parking lots, and this is not a small trailer, and definitely want to have some room to maneuver. This is probably the farthest away station we can make it to. We have a predicted range of 45 miles and 40 miles to get there, but keep in mind we're going to be hitting some denser traffic here, which should help with efficiency. And so I'm thinking we'll get there with a little bit more than a 5-mile buffer. But yeah, we'll see. I don't mind running it too far down low with a light trailer. With a heavy trailer, I would probably not take this much risk because I don't like to sag the pack and basically have a lot of power request with the accelerator pedal when the state of charge is very low. We're currently at around 30% state of charge. So we're basically going to spend the next 45 minutes, hop over to the other side of downtown Denver, charge up at Electrify America in Castle Rock, and then we'll be off south of there to Colorado Springs. Welcome to dense Denver traffic. This guy pulling all this hay in front of us is just rolling coal. So whatever animal's going to eat that, we'll have a whole bunch of that garbage in there. Electric trucks doing farm work can't come soon enough, in my opinion. And we are approaching our exit down here in Castle Rock, where our battery's in the red, 21 miles projected. I told you we'd get here with so much more. Let's go hope we can plug into this charger because this looks like a pretty big area. That's the other thing is, can we plug in with a trailer or are we going to have to disconnect? That's always the big question, towing with an electric truck. Well, we've arrived to where we need to turn, and yikes, like a whole line of people and then just like a crazy crowded Chick-fil-A. This might be a bit tough to maneuver the trailer around in, but wish me luck. There's the target sign. Let's just hope the charger's not underground. Worst case, we can always find a backup. 21 miles remaining, 13%. We have enough juice to make it to another charger if we can't maneuver this thing around, but I think we should try for it. I've made it into the Target parking lot, but I have no idea where the charging station is, and I kind of don't want to look around with the truck and trailer just in case I get into a spot that I can't get out of. So I may actually, oh wait, I see it all the way over there. All the way over there, okay. I think we should try and maneuver that way, but make sure we have an exit strategy just in case we get locked in. This is a long trailer for these little parking lots. Wow, check out the view up here. This is nice. And there's the plug-in spots. It looks like we'll be able to nose ourselves right in without unhooking and without blocking anyone. Okay, this is really freaking sweet. So let's see how we should approach this. I'm thinking we just come at it so we don't block anyone or anything like that. We'll just come at it here. It says 150 kilowatt. They're all 150s. And then hopefully someone can just go around us if they need to. We'll take a look here in a second. But boom, there we go. Into park. Let's get it charging. I've activated number 4. In we go. Again, this is more of an urban charger, so that's not 350 kilowatts. Looks like people can get around us, which is good. And it's just kind of in an empty section of the parking lot. So I think we're fine being here. 2 spots available, 2 spots taken. The Leaf is almost full. It's at 90%. And then the Kona's a new one, actually. That's kind of cool. Got the trailer here, so let's just hope no one parks right behind us. But I think people will get the idea, and I'll hang out here in case there's an issue and I can move everything. I don't know what we'll charge up to. We're not even charging yet. Looks like it's just kicking on, communicating. Again, I swiped on the charger using my Electrify America app as usual. We should get a full 150 kilowatts or so. Looks like we're ramping up, AC's on. And then we'll hit the road here once we charge up to, I don't know, 70 or 80%. Maybe we'll look at the mileage difference. Maybe we can make it to Colorado Springs and back to this location. We'll see. But here we are, 140, 150, 160, 162 kilowatts. Nice, so this is giving us full 350 amps or so. That's awesome. I just went to put on pet comfort because there's no Leaf climate on. You just have to put it in sort of dog mode. But it says the range is too low, but we're connected to a fast charger. So in at least the Tesla world, if you're plugged into a supercharger, no matter your state of charge, it'll let it go into pet mode. So I would say if the Rivian's plugged into a DC fast charger, let it stick on, because now I'm gonna have to kind of hang around here instead of walking over to Cane's to get some lunch until I can put pet comfort on. Just, that's if I had a dog. I don't, so I can just walk over now, but would save a little bit of time. With that awesome view in the distance, we're cranking along at 167 kilowatts. On the 150, as usual, they boost up a little bit higher than 150 depending on your pack voltage. And gonna eat some Cane's in the truck and be here in case there's any issue. But honestly, we got a wide open parking lot right here, folks. This is great. And a new Kona electric at almost 70% state of charge or so. Well, I just got in the truck and it says stopped by station. It just bricked itself and it says please unplug. But I swear I didn't touch anything on the station or anything like that. So, okay, charging is stopped. I don't know what's going on. Let's take a look. I have figured out the issue. I've re-swiped. We're reactivating the charging session. On my account, I had an old credit card that it couldn't reload up anymore. And so I just switched to my new one and we're good. What the heck though, just to not even tell me that was the issue. It just popped up, couldn't charge the car, kept trying to swipe. It said, oh, it's just not possible to charge. It didn't say, hey, because your account's below 0, you can't charge. Oh well, now I know to check the payment system and we're back to charging as we should be. Nice, just a small little hiccup there. And always the charging problems, I'd say more than half globally, now that I've spent a lot of time in Europe, have to do with charging activation and payment, not so much the actual stations themselves. So plug-in charge needed to come to Rivian, I think, as soon as possible. I know they have it on their Rivian Adventure network, but not for the public networks. Really hope we get this function soon. So time to talk charging strategy. Right now we're getting much better efficiency than we will with Judy on the back of the trailer. It's 45 miles to Colorado Springs, 45 miles back. I'm charging deep enough to hopefully make that on one charge. Now, typically I would just say charge up just enough, make it to the next and hop back. But with a trailer, if you find a good parking spot where you're not blocking anyone, that's pretty important. We're still doing 100 kilowatt charging at 70%, which isn't terrible. And so I'm thinking we charge it up to 80, 85%. That should be more than enough to go there and back. The wind is increasing, which has me a little bit nervous, but I think we'll be totally fine to make it round trip back to this location, which is a really great location with a trailer. And then from here, I should be able to charge enough to get back up to Fort Collins. So I think that'll work pretty well. The AC fans have been ripping on the truck super hard. We saw a peak of 173 kilowatts going into the charging port on this thing. Pretty awesome for a 150 kilowatt station. Always good to have a little bit of overachieving. It's really just a little bit higher voltage than most cars because this is a high 400 volt car. And so that works out great. And yeah, so I think we'll leave here. We should be, it's 2:11 p.m. right now. We should be down to pick up Judy at about 3:15. And yeah, just charge up another 10 minutes, head out, rock and roll. And man, can't wait to drive my Range Rover after everything's been fixed. And at 79% state of charge, we've fallen off the ledge. We were just doing about 86, 87 kilowatts. And then, yep, close to 80, we get this 50 kilowatt hold. That is typical. I think the extra power is what's going towards the air conditioning. On our second session, we've had a 30-minute charge to get from 32% to roughly 80%. That's not great, is it? But again, not the most powerful charger. This truck can charge faster, especially at low states of charge. Nice ID4 base one rolled up. Yeah, this truck can charge faster at lower states of charge. So let's stop charging. I think it's probably slightly better for the electrical system if we stop charging from inside the truck, but honestly, I don't think it makes much of a difference. Boom, that'll give 80%. So we did stop at exactly 80%. Nice. Let's go here, pull out the charger. Because we're gonna be DC charging again and it's a nice day, I'm gonna leave the flap open. Double push in. Fans are ripping. Let's head down to Colorado Springs to Pikes Peak Rovers. So 45 miles to get down there, 54 minutes projected, probably a bit of traffic this time of day, just maneuvering the trailer through. Not a bad parking lot at all. Man, did I think this was gonna be a whole lot worse than it was. Super duper easy. And truck's predicting 130 miles of range at 80%. That is pretty awesome. This is where we're gonna scrape the trailer, but honestly, nothing we can do about it. That dovetail rear end makes it pretty tough. So come on, Winnebago, you can go. Everyone go, and then we will go as well. So here we go, and wait for the trailer to scrape. Yep, just a tiny scrape. Okay, better than I thought it was gonna be. Well, it's a beautiful drive here, except it's not, because this guy put an M5 badge on what is very clearly a 535. What on earth? Don't be that guy. Stop up badging BMWs. This really has gone on far too long. And we're just pulling up, made it no problems at all, not much traffic. Oh yes, old Land Rovers everywhere. Pretty sure that one's Judy right there. Looking good. Yep, let's go in, check everything out. And here she is. I'm over at Pikes Peak Rovers right here. An awesome shop, some NAS Defender inside, long wheelbase NAS Defender. That's super rare, only 500 of those. Some classics laying around over here. We got a Defender 90 North American spec, super cool, super cool. Got a long wheelbase next to us. Love this. Judy's definitely looking great. Definitely the nicest classic in the parking lot, I'd say, especially after the $6,000 bill I just paid for the stage 1 of the mechanical refresh. We've pretty much done all of the suspension, a whole bunch of some other things. I don't even remember, transmission flush, engine oil change, and then it's going to come back here. I have a whole list. I'll have a whole video on my personal channel, Kyle Connor, which I'll leave linked in the description below, where I'm going to go through the whole line item list on this car, tell you everything we've done to it. It's going to be so minty mint by the time we're fully done. I'm going to drive it around for a couple weeks, look for any more problems, any more issues, and then it's going to come back here to PPR, where we're going to be pulling the engine, rebuilding it, resealing it, and literally bringing this thing back to its former glory. It should be like a brand new 1991 Range Rover Classic, which I'm really looking forward to. So a huge thanks to these guys at PPR, super fair with their pricing. I know it sounds very expensive, but we did a lot of work. It took them weeks to do everything here. Happy to have Judy back. Looking forward to daily driving her. I hear we just got the air conditioning totally serviced as well, so that should work. and I'm gonna go take it for a quick drive, make sure everything's good before I load it up on the trailer. So here we are, let's start her up. We've done this a few times, but not recently. Key on, looks like the AC's on full cold. Let's crank her over. Starts right up. Gotta go find a fuel station and fill it up. Sometimes the fuel gauge takes a while to come up. The brake light goes away when it builds pressure. We had the whole braking system serviced, new fluid, handbrake's been retightened. Wow, loving it. Let's go fill it up with fuel, and then I'm gonna drive it around a little bit, see how she does. So I've taken Judy for a drive, paid my bill, and there was just a couple last minute little adjustments. I thought the idle was a little bit weak, so a little bit of fine tuning here just to get it good for the next couple weeks before it comes back for a full mechanical refresh where we're pulling the engine, putting a new transfer case in, getting the transmission in order, and then it's gonna be literally freshy fresh. But I need to spend the next couple weeks finding bugs. I found a couple just on my trip to the gas station and back. But yeah, really love this thing. Feel like it's the right unit to put the money into to keep forever. I'll never sell this thing. At least that's my intention. And again, keep an eye on my personal channel for all the updates. What we're gonna do now is get the trailer set up to get Judy loaded onto the back of the Rivian. And then I have dinner tonight in Denver with some friends on the way back. So let's get Judy all loaded up and strapped in. By the way, the guys here, also EV enthusiasts, driving Teslas. Love it, so cool. And now I got the Rover loaded up on the trailer, strapped down, ready to rock and roll, heading back to the charger in Castle Rock. Man, we got a few little adjustments from that last clip. They adjusted the timing a little bit, the idle, and wow, it runs 10 times better. And that's before we even do all the engine work to this thing. So call me thrilled. I'm really, really pleased. The AC blows ice cold now, so I can drive it in the summertime, and can't wait to take this thing out on some trails. That's what it was built for. Not hardcore stuff, but just got to get it out in the dirt. Anyway, let's hop in the Rivian, put in Castle Rock. I can only imagine how much worse our efficiency is going to be with this on the back. So into the Rivian we go. AC blasting, cooled seats, not on the windshield. Let's go back to a normal, reasonable temperature. Okay, first things first, while this is blasting, we got 1.65 miles per kilowatt hour on the 130 mile drive down here. Let's reset this trip and see what we get on the return. We have 91 miles predicted range, easy to make it to the Electrify America back in Castle Rock, and that's our plan, to go back up there. So let's see what kind of efficiency we get with this trailer after that 1.65 miles per kilowatt hour. It is preparing the battery for DC charging. I don't think it really needs to. The battery should be fine unless it's trying to cool itself down. Not sure. Anyway, let's make sure we're good. I'll restrap the straps before we get on the highway. As always, I always drive on city streets. We got 9 miles to the highway or so. I'll find a little parking lot, retighten down the Range Rover, and then we'll be good to go off on I-25. Oh, and one more thing. I think I'll go up to 5 on the brake gain, and we'll go stiff and standard. The reason I want standard is because if there is an issue and I let off, I want to have the most coasting and I have more control in standard. If it feels super stable, then I'll put it back to high. Trailer brake gain, we have more weight, trailer brakes should work harder. So now we'll leave PPR and head on back to Fort Collins. We got ourselves a pretty big hill climb to do here, so just about to pull out as soon as this guy goes by, and because we got to take it pretty wide with this trailer, and we are using the power of the Rivian, no problem. Not gonna go too hard throttle. Make sure Judy hangs on just fine. She's doing great. And wow, this thing is so much faster. I'm using very little throttle, by the way. So much faster than the Range Rover under its own power. Just crazy how powerful this Rivian is and how easily it tows. It is so cool. Okay, let's go make sure everything gets settled in. And man, you can't even feel anything behind this truck. It's just so smooth to tow. Amazing. All right, we've been about 9 miles or so, just about to get near the highway. Let's just check on everything, make sure we're good. Looking good. Nice. Not loving that so much. Really need to get the actual car tie-down straps. This is slightly bit janky. I've also had to put this in here like this so I don't scratch the wheel on this particular component, but everything's nice and tight. We got this tucked up in the door so it doesn't flap. We got this tucked up in the door so it doesn't flap. I think I'll just put that in a little bit more and we're looking good. All right, here we go, merging onto I-25 North. Judy's looking great back there, no issues at all. Man, this thing tows great. I think we need to work on our strap situation, especially for longer tows. I'm gonna be real gentle on it this trip, but not 100% loving the way it's strapped down. I don't think it's dangerous, but yeah, would prefer a little bit of a safer tie down situation. And she's looking good back there in the mirror. No issues here as we hit 55 miles an hour. I think we'll cruise along at 55, 60, something like that. Nothing crazy. Just make sure that it's towing nice, that we're not holding up traffic. And can't literally even feel it behind us. Just so smooth with this weight distributing hitch. So great. Off we go, cruising 33 miles till we get to the charger. We have now bumped up the towing speed to 70 miles an hour. The Rover is pulling straight and true, no issues at all back there. The Rivian can't even feel a thing. Energy consumption's up. Look at how much throttle it takes just to maintain speed here, even with just a slight incline. So it's using the juice, but it's really not so bad for these kind of trips. Electric towing works. I really love it. It's actually kind of fun. Trailer with the load distribution hitch is a great setup. Can't recommend this setup enough for just a not crazy expensive, not crazy nice trailer. You know, I think all in with the load distribution hitch, trailer, taxes, we're into this whole setup for less than $7,500, maybe somewhere around $7,000 for all of it, including the tax, of course. And yeah, really a useful setup to have. Which is funny when you think about it, because the camp kitchen for the Rivian alone is $6 grand. So, I don't know, I feel like getting a trailer is a pretty good value. Anyway, thanks to D&E Trailer Sales in Fort Collins for hooking me up with that. That was pretty sweet. Just cruising. And we have made it back over to Castle Rock. Wow, I did not think we would get this good efficiency. I think that 9 miles of sort of stop and go traffic in the city really helped. But even so, definitely overcharged at 80% at the last charging stop. Didn't need that much, but that's okay. Better to have more than less, I guess. Yeah, so let's regen on down. See if we can pop over to the right lane. We can, and it says no turn on red. So we will wait right here with the trailer brake action going. Wait for the light to go green, plug it in, just on over there. And we have arrived at the Electrify America station with 33% state of charge, 41 miles of projected range. Let's take a look. By the way, last charging session, interesting, 1.3 kilowatt hours went to cooling. That's pretty cool. Let's plug it in now, see how it does. Windy out here, pretty good efficiency. We'll take a look at that in a second as well. So, in we go. Same situation, not blocking the lot, which is awesome, so everyone can get around. I'll activate the charger. Ooh, nice Polestar 2 rolling up, 2 Ioniq 5s as well, which is great to see. And we'll get this thing too. And as we saw last time, getting 171 kilowatts, gonna charge up here a little bit. Nice to meet some viewers here in the Ioniq 5. Great to see that guy. Thanks for watching. Polestar 2, looking great. Another Ioniq charging up. And yeah, the Rivian's looking great with the Rover on the back. Judy's holding on tight. And I'm doing a pretty deep charge here, up to 90% or so. We have 108 miles projected, which is perfect because it's, let's see, 94 miles to get back home. So that'll give us a little bit of buffer. And yep, gonna charge it up till it hits 90 and then we'll head out. Just for reference, let's take a look at our efficiency. 1.23 miles per kilowatt hour with the Range Rover on the back. So a significant drop down from 1.6, but still 1.23 is not too bad. And I was doing 70, 73, 74 miles an hour towards the end there. So man, loving the way this thing tows. Not as bad as I would have thought with a car on the back. Well, you joined me just a couple hours later, went over to have some dinner with some friends, left the Rivian just parked in front of the Chargers, not icing them. I'm, you know, one spot back, but it was an open parking lot, so it was easy to leave the Rivian here. We hopped in their car and went. Now into drive, heading home. 89 miles to get there. We have 132 projected. We'll easily make it. Let's take a look at our efficiency on the way. I think we actually lose elevation on the way as well, which will be super nice. But now that the roads are empty, we can just gently cruise on home and get this Range Rover back to where it's supposed to be. Good morning. It's the next morning. Made it home, I don't know, sometime late last night, and decided to film the last clip here in the daytime. Trailer tow's great. Everything's been really good there. I've ordered some actual tie downs so it doesn't look this janky into the future. Let's take a look at our efficiency here inside the Rivian. Nice boot up time. Didn't even tell the car I was coming over, so that was pretty quick. If I go here, we got 1.36 miles per kilowatt hour. Really not too bad. Used about 100 kilowatt hours to come back from Colorado Springs. So easily doable on one charge if we left there full, since we have about 125 usable in this truck. Still have 45% left. Super easy. Great trip. Very impressed. We'll turn climate off. We don't really need it. I'm going to unload the Range Rover, drive it around for the next week or so, become the daily driver, find some bugs, and then it goes back for more servicing. So all of the info on this car will be on my personal channel. All the info on this car will be here on this one, because we do a lot of electric stuff on out of spec reviews, and just really loving the tow setup here. It's pretty basic, but it gets the job done. Tow's smooth, and honestly, this trailer being just flat is pretty efficient to tow with. Thanks so much for watching another out of spec reviews video. Thanks for continuing watching our videos, and we'll see you on the next one soon. Bye-bye.